Is your career path the right choice for you? One that is fulfilling, satisfying, aligned to your vision of financial abundance? Hi, I'm Anika, and this is episode 25 of Rewrite Your Story. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into your career vision. Now, our previous episode 24, covered how to define your financial vision, the keys to which lie in this category: your ideal career, the career path that you choose for yourself. Now, you can be anywhere on your career journey today. You may have already chosen your ideal career path, one that follows your calling, your purpose. Or perhaps you're at the beginning of your career journey where you've got a job today which will guide you into your career path. Or perhaps you've spent several years on a career choice over the journey that you've had so far in your professional life, but now you're seeking a different one. Irrespective of where you are on this career journey of yours, if you're here watching this video and seeking for more financial abundance linked to your career vision, then you want to start with assessing if your path, your chosen path, is right for you. We're going to do this by gaining clarity on what is the best or the highest value that you've got to offer, one that leverages your passions, what you love to do, so that you can define a career choice that you want, that is the right fit for you, and it is aligned to your financial vision. Now, this takes courage. This is a difficult one, especially if you've been several years on a career path. You've invested resources of time, of energy, of relationships. And now I'm asking you to assess if it is wrong. That's not what I'm asking you to do. What I'm asking you is, I'm inviting you to make it better. You haven't made any wrong choices. Certain choices were made that didn't work out so great for you. That's all right. It's life. You're allowed to make a change. It's your choice. It is your story, right? So let's see if we can make this better so that it's what you love doing and not what you do for others. Now, when I ask people, what do you do? The most common response that I get is, I work for X. Well, that's who you work for. What do you do? See, we align ourselves with the companies that we work for because we align ourselves to the role that we're playing in that company, because it gives us a salary that helps us run our household and pay our bills. Many of us have passions when we are younger of who do we want to be and what is it that we want to do. However, we get sucked into the rat race of life, the rat race of survival. We look for a job, or a job finds us. We get married, we have kids. Now we need more money to support and save. And between all of this running through life stages and trying to get ahead in this rat race of life, sometimes our passions get lost under the layers of the responsibilities that have now been added into our world. So how about we start again? It's just a story. Let's start again. If you had the choice to design your own career, what would you do? Who would you be? Not who you would work for. Who would you be? If you have some struggles or some difficulty in being able to define what it is that you really love. It may have been several years. You may have been living under one or multiple identities that you've adopted over your career path, and you may have actually forgotten what it is that you used to love doing. What is it that you really wanted? What is it that maybe you were really, really good at? If you find yourself stuck in this position, then I invite you to check out episode number 9, in which I walk you through on how to find and define your passion. So check that one out. And it's under repurposing of goal setting. Now, if you want to define what is it that you're really good at, what your passion is, it's the sweet spot between what brings you joy to your heart through the work that you do, work that you can do tirelessly for hours, not because you have to, but because you want to. So it's the sweet spot between knowing what you really love doing, it fills your heart with joy, being able to reframe it into a social role that it will play in society in terms of the value that it creates for a market or for people, the world at large, and packaging it into a career that can make you money. That is where you will find your passion that is sellable. Now, it's really, really important, this point on ensuring that you're able to find and define your passion is a critical point, because this is going to be the starting point for you to define the premise. Without it, this exercise of using the PVPS model out of life book will not do you full justice. You will not be able to see the benefits out of the exercise if you don't start with defining what you really love and what you really want to do. Yeah. So we start with what you love. Success follows joy. If you are miserable today and you feel like you don't have success, maybe the opposite is true. Misery does not equal success. Joy equals success. How about we try that? Yeah. Don't you want to wake up every morning looking forward to going to work because it is what you love? Investing into more learning for yourself so that you're going to get better and better at this job because you love it so much. You want to be able to do more of it. You want to be able to do better of it. That's when you've got a career that is aligned with your purpose or your calling. And that is the key to success. We cannot grow if we're working on a task or we're working on a job that is not something that we like to do. It's only you're only doing it. We are only doing it. I've done it too for several years because that's what I always did, because it paid the bills, because it gave me the comforts and the luxuries of life. The difference, though, is when I ask somebody, what do you do? And they say, I work for X. That's not your vision. You're defining, actually, you're not even defining. You're saying, I am an actor playing a role that was defined by the play in which I'm an actor. And it's not my story, it's their story. I'm just playing a role in it. They came to me and I got the role. I was picked out of hundreds or thousands of people. On the other hand, if your response is going to be, I am an engineer, or I'm an analyst, or I'm an influencer, or I'm a painter, or I'm a baker, whatever, that is your identity. That is your story. You chose that. Nobody told you you needed to become a baker or an engineer or a doctor or a scientist or a teacher. If you say, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, that's your story. You chose it. You picked it for yourself. You're not playing the role in someone else's play. This is your play, written, directed, produced, and acted by yourself. So what is it that you love doing? and maybe envisioned your career to be when you were growing up. Think big, go limitless. Don't think about how you're going to do it. Just think about what it is that you want to do. Now, can you match this passionate skill or this love of a career or a role that you want to play in your life? Can you match that to delivering to a real market need? Something that creates value for the world. In order to make money, you need to have a skill to trade. What's that skill that you've got, which you're really, really good at and you love doing? Can this career choice be secured with a financial model that makes you money and is sustainable? The sweet spot of these three considerations holds the key to defining your premise in the ideal career path for success and financial abundance. So you want to find out what that passionate skill of yours is, match that passionate skill to a need in the market or the world, and arm it with a profitable, sustainable financial model for yourself. And that's your premise. You got these three, you're well on your way. Now let's look at the vision. Depending upon where you are on your career journey, this part can feel quite daunting. What do you do if you're unhappy or miserable with your current job or your career choice? Do you just rip it all apart? Do you just quit and resign and walk away? Or do you make small changes like a gradual shift? Well, the degree of the change that you want to bring about in your life as far as your career path is concerned is completely determined on your choice. You're going to have to walk the path. So you're going to just have to decide, if you're miserable today, if you're unhappy today, is it easier for you to stay in the situation? Or would you rather take a different path, explore something different with the intent of finding happiness and joy for yourself, purpose for yourself? That's a choice you've got to make. I made this choice about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I made a conscious decision to change careers, change countries, and change my employment status. I changed my career in terms of its industries. I changed my country completely in terms of continents. And I changed my employment status from being in the corporate world to becoming an entrepreneur. Was it hard? Sure. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But was it worth it? Absolutely. See, when you find your calling, your purpose, and you know what you really love and want to be, though the path may be difficult, walking it becomes easier. You get this powerful drive from within to embrace that journey, get better and better at the skill that you've got now to trade with the world. And it comes from a place of passion. So you actually get really good at it. You get so good at it that you want to make this skill the best sellable skill that you've got with yourself in your toolbox. To start on this section, I'd like to invite you to think about, how did you get to this point today? At this job, in this career, at this point in your career journey, how did you get here? Was it driven by the popular choice of the career at the time when you were deciding which path to take? Or was it driven by the highest paying career path among others that are available? And today there are hundreds, if not thousands, of choices that are not just available, that one can create for themselves. Was it an aspired career for your family or your parents? Or did it just happen by accident? Mine happened by accident. At the age of 20, looking for my first internship, still unsure of what path I wanted to choose. The first company that hired me gave me the blueprint of my career for the next 15 years. My career chose me. I didn't choose it. For 15 years, I truly believed I was meant to be in that career. I was told I was good at it. With the acknowledgement that I received, I loved it until I didn't. I made good money, lots of it. But at what cost? I worked long hours. I worked weekends. I sacrificed on personal time. I lacked satisfaction and fulfillment from within. It just didn't fill my heart with joy. So, what would you want your ideal career to look like? Something that helped me, a question that I asked myself at the time when I was making this difficult decision and walking down this highly challenging path, slightly morbid, but very, very powerful. If you knew you had only a few months to live, would you feel satisfied with having devoted your life to a fulfilling career path? Or would you feel regret with a whisper of, I wish? Are you making enough money doing what you're doing now? Would you do it for the rest of your life? Do you think you picked the right career for yourself? Or do you need to make some changes in your current career path? Perhaps you want to replace it with one that is more aligned with your calling. These are some of the hard but very important questions that you want to ask yourself.